Module 6.9b covers evaluating texts reflecting different cultures. So for this week, at the end of this session, you as a learner should be able to define a text and also the cultural text, and you should be able to identify the sample text and what are their purposes. And of course, you need to be able to understand the different types of text. We usually define a text as a book or other written or printed work regarded in terms of its content rather than its physical form. The main body of a book or other piece of writing as distinct from other materials such as notes, appendices, and illustrations. But we usually define a text that is not limited to something written down. But a text could also be a film, an artifact, anything in a language and culture that conveys meaning. So how do we define cultural text? So these are objects, actions, and behaviors that reveal cultural meanings. A photo is an image, but is also a cultural text. A picture with cultural information beyond just the picture itself. Food and clothing also suggest cultural information, and it does not stop there. The entire place and space, all of the people and interaction, all of the rituals and rules, and the various forms in which they manifest themselves are readable texts suitable for observation and analysis by the ethnographer and writer, which is mainly by you. This initial description of a cultural text may make it seem as though everything is a cultural text. While, in some sense true, this does not mean that every text has particular relevance. Sometimes a book is just a book and a picture is just a picture. The difference between a relevant cultural text or one that has connection with your project and an irrelevant cultural text or the one that may have nothing to do with your project has to do with the meaning transferred to the text by the people who create and or use the text. The relevance of any particular cultural text will be determined as you conduct your research. But even before you work on determining whether a cultural text has particular relevance, you need to know and understand how to identify and analyze a cultural text. So, what are the different sample texts and its purpose? First one is an advert that is written in order to influence someone to buy. Therefore, it is made to persuade. Number two, a user guide consists of instructions of how to make things run or how to cook, for instance. So it is written to give instructions to the readers. Number three, it could be a formal business letter that is sometimes written to inform about something. And number four, a personal letter can also be written to someone describing a holiday vacation. So let's proceed to understanding different types of text. For sure that we are all familiar with this text because it was already discussed during your high school days. So what are these for? The first one is persuasive text. The second one is instructive text. The third one is informative text. And last is descriptive text. The first type of text that we will discuss is persuasive. It intends to convince readers to believe in an idea or opinion and to do an action. Many writings such as criticisms, reviews, reaction papers, editorials, proposals, advertisements, and brochures use different ways of persuasion to influence readers. So based on the example provided on the presentation is the picture of President Duterte on having his speech to Filipinos. So one of his goal is to encourage Filipinos or persuade Filipinos to agree or believe with his platforms in our country. So what else? So another one is an advertisement of Chris Aquino on the Shopee app. So she may encourage us to use a Shopee for online shopping. So this is what a persuasive text is all about. So this is all about encouraging the readers to agree or believe with the author's opinion. Persuasive text might use the following, such as repeated words, capital letters for emphasis, exclamation points to catch the attention of the readers, and rhetorical questions. The second type of text is instructive. So this is to instruct someone to do something or relating to procedures to be done. So the tone of words that is being used here is commanding, and it may use formal and direct words. So to make it short, you teach someone to do something. So for example, whenever you are visiting someone in their house, there must be rules to follow, especially in the times of pandemic. So what to do when you are visiting someone? Of course, wear a face mask, keep your distance, cover your cough, and hand sanitizer available inside the house. So you should use it before meeting someone. So it tells you what to do when you visit. Another example for instructive is a recipe that instructs you on how to cook something. Another one is, for example, if a person asks you on how to go to that specific place. So you will teach the direction. So those are examples of instructive text. The third one is informative text. So this is defined as a text which contains factual information and step-by-step procedures. So another definition is it includes descriptions, explanations, reports, discussions, and lists. So the purpose of this is to provide information about a particular topic. So usually, in this type of text, there are 5 common structures. So I will be giving you the 5 structures. So what are they? Like cause and effect, compare and contrast, chronological order, problem and solution, and description. So usually, these are the common structures in informative text. Example for this is a biography, a procedural text, a joke book, or a text with characters. So what are the other examples of informative text? So based on the presentation, a newspaper is an example of an informative text. So all of the events that are happening in our country can be stated in the newspaper, which informs us. Okay, another one is an announcement. Okay. Okay, so the last type of text is descriptive. So it usually focuses on describing a single location, object, event, person, or place. It endeavors to engage all 5 of the reader's senses to evoke the sights, sounds, smells, taste, and feel of the text subject. So one of the example of a descriptive text include the sunset filled the entire sky with the deep color of rubies, setting the clouds ablaze. So what is the thing being described here? The sunset. So another one, you are sharing an experience when you have a vacation in a certain place. So you describe the environment, the ambience, the foods that you ate, the people you were around with, the fun that you experienced is an example of a descriptive text. Okay, so for our activity this afternoon, these are the basic sentences. And what you're going to do is to make it more detailed. So the first basic sentence is the leaf fell off the tree. So how are you going to expand it by describing how the leaf fell off the tree? Another basic sentence that you're going to expand is his eyes were like the color of the ocean on the clearest day. So how would you elaborate it, or how would you describe it detail by detail? So I will be giving you 3 minutes to think and share your answers on the chat box.